We need about 150,000 Greeks because the population of Greece is quite small.
Yeah.
So we need about 150,000 Greeks to take back their power from the government, and we're done. We will be the first ones opening the doors for the next dimension, and then everyone else will follow within days or weeks, at the most a month or two. But it can't really be a month or two, because if they stay behind a month or two, Greece will be way ahead. And that causes an imbalance of a different kind. We've all heard the phrases, we are all one, Earth is one. So yes, we can have one country or one part of the world making the first jump, but it can't start running ahead and leave the others miles behind. It'll cause an imbalance on the Earth. It just won't work. I have a feeling with some countries it'll be a matter of days before they follow and take back their power from the government, and with some it might be a matter of a couple of weeks.
Has it started already for the Greeks? Do you feel like in your seminars and in the personal interviews you have with people that Greeks are gradually being awakened towards this concept?
They're not very far behind. I remember last year when I was... Okay, we have to tell the listener, I'm a channel. I channel the person's higher self. Like when clients come to me, I simply channel their higher self. Last year I would get the higher self telling the client, just say the phrase, maybe it's my fault. And the client would automatically say, it's not my fault. Why is it my fault? They did this, they did that, they did the other. It's not my fault. As for this year, they don't say that. There's a moment of silence after I say, okay, think of all the people you have blamed, the banks, the other countries that you have blamed, Germany, because Greeks do blame Germany a lot, and simply say, do you think maybe it's my fault? And now there is a pause for a few seconds. Some say it, some do not, but this year no one actually goes into the, oh, it's not my fault, it's never my fault. No one says things like that this year. So yes, they are getting ready, and yes, they are very close.
You have declared several times that there is no such thing as love.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're leaving Greece now. Of course, there's no such thing as love in Greece.
And you know what love means for the Greeks? It's a beautiful word. They use it every chance they get.
Yes, but you know what though? I'm going to say a personal little story now before I explain why Greeks use love a lot. All my life, okay, I'm Greek, raised outside of Greece. For some reason, I was not a very emotional person. I was always very logical, even as a child. You'll see pictures, family pictures, and I was never hugging the family like everybody else in the family, all hugging each other. I was always 2 or 3 inches away from them, thinking, what the hell am I doing here? And I would always ask logical questions. All my life, I could not understand why Greeks needed to exist. I couldn't see their usefulness in the world stage, in the world collective consciousness. And I knew that word from a teenager for some reason, and it meant something to me, even though I didn't know what it meant. I could just feel when I heard the word collective consciousness, I just stopped and I got goosebumps. I'm like, what is this? This is something I know. But I couldn't explain it back then. But all my life, I was angry at the Greeks, didn't know why they existed, didn't think they needed to exist. I remember even telling my mom, if Greece was mine, I'd give it to the Americans to test the atomic bombs. They need a place to test the atomic bombs. Right now they're doing it in Nevada. We need Nevada. It has Las Vegas. And then I reached the age of like 48, 49. So I never got an answer of why Greeks were needed. I did discover in my mid-40s that all of us are a different part of our soul. Imagine our soul as a big diamond, a cut diamond with many facets. And the diamond is the soul. We are only one facet of this diamond. Our soul has many like us, many facets. We're only one facet. We think our soul has just us, that it's me and my higher self. Me and my soul. Soul and higher self is the same thing. But it isn't. We are only one facet of our soul. And then later I learned that nationalities, every nationality is a different part of the whole, of, let's say, Earth, and a different part of God. So one day I was lying in bed thinking, let me ask this differently. I wasn't in Greece, by the way, I was living next door in Turkey. And I asked the question, what part of creator are the Greeks? And finally, after half a century, I got an answer. The part that is not real. Greeks express the part of creator that is not real. That is why there's so much lying here. It's perfect for them. It's home for them. That is why Greeks have sayings like, close the blinds, people will see us. And you go to Northern Europe and the blinds and the windows are always open and you walk the street and you see people cooking or sleeping or doing whatever. You would never imagine this in Greece. People will see us. They have this phrase, what will people say? Because we are not what we pretend we are. We are not what we tell people we are. This is why we overdress as well. So that's when I understood the Greeks. They are simply the part of creator that's not real. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. Every part of creator needs to be expressed. Creator is probably learning more from its part that is not real than its part that is real. Because creator already knows what is real. Big whoopee. I wonder what it's like not being real. So, there's no competition here, but Greeks might be sending more information back to creator than those nationalities that are real, that are honest, that do have transparency. Europeans keep complaining that Greeks do not have transparency. Greece needs transparency in the government, in business, in everywhere, in order for it to get out of its funk that it has fallen into. But they're never going to accomplish this because Greeks are not meant to be transparent. They express a different part of creator. So we're going to have a difficult time. We can pretend we're transparent until the Europeans go back home. And once they go back home, we go back to our old games. Because not being transparent is who we are. Why should we change? It's simply who we are. There's no good or bad, no right or wrong. We are the part of creator that is not transparent. And we are learning, creator is learning from us what is not creator. However, this game is finishing at the end of 2012. And we're going to go back home. We're starting to go back home. So since we will no longer need to play the game of what is not real, because we are going into reality after 2012. We're beginning to go into reality. It won't be until 2017 that we will be totally in reality. But since now this game is finishing, we are given the opportunity to go from what is not real to what is totally real.
So, are we going to make it or are we going to die in the process?
I'm estimating right now 1 in 3 Greeks will not see 2013 because they love playing the victim. The Greeks and a few other nationalities as well. Now, there are victims in every single nationality. However, people like the Greeks, the Jews, and a few other nationalities are professional victims. They love playing the victim. So those nationalities, of course, Jews are more than a nationality, they're also a religion. Those peoples are going to have a more difficult time than other people. Simply because the fifth dimension, the energy of the fifth dimension cannot sustain the victim role. You simply cannot play the victim in that energy. So this energy is saying to you, if you want to come to me, you're going to have to let go of that role. It's just a role. It's not real. You are not a victim. No soul is a victim, and you are a soul. You are not your body, and you are not your nationality, you are not your job, you are not your career, you are not your family. You are a soul, and your soul is real. So if you let go of the victim role, then you can come to me. That's what this fifth dimensional energy is saying to us right now. And that is why so many Greeks are not going to make it. I'm estimating 1 in 3 because every time I take a client into the future and show them 2013, they always say there's less people in the street. I'm like, how many less? And all of them are saying between 60 and 66%. All of them are saying between those numbers. I said this the opposite. How many people have remained? And the number of people that have remained are between 60 and 66%. So we're between about 33% less, 1 in 3 in Greece. When I go to other countries, I also take them to the future. in the session, in the private session, I mean. Someone might think, how do you take someone to the future? It's easy, in meditation. But the same way we go to the past, when we go to our past and we say, my mother did this, my father did that, my boss did that, and now I can't do this. We relive the past. Exactly in the same way, we can go into the future and literally relive the future. So that's how we go into the future. We go to 2013 in June and we walk the street and see what's happening. So today, January 2012, I would say about 1 in 3 Greeks will not be around. They're not going to make it. And then the other 2 are going to start asking questions. The only question a Greek needs to ask is, do you think maybe it's my fault? That's all. That means the Greek person will take back all their power and then start expressing it. Then their power, their energy, their soul will guide them. They do not need anything else. What's blocking the Greeks right now from accomplishing anything they want is they don't have their power. They have given way too much of their power. Again, I keep repeating this because I do not want people to think this is just the Greeks. People all over the world do this. It's just that the Greeks have, as we said before, pulled the pendulum to the extreme. And if the Greek can say, do you think maybe it's my fault? They will take back their power and start expressing their power. And they do have a lot of power. And I'm not talking about ancient Greece and philosophy and all that. Today's Greeks do have a lot of power. It is just that they have given it away.
Is it because they lack in common sense as well that they have given their power away easier than other nations?
Not at all, and we can prove this with the Jews. The Jews also love playing the victim. It's always someone else's fault, but they're extremely intelligent. They do not lack common sense at all. But they love playing the victim role. So no, I wouldn't say that the Greeks love playing the victim because they lack common sense. No.